Okay, seat wiring. This is the passenger seat, and we're going to wire it up and test it on the bench here, and then get it figured out and ultimately wire it into the car's harness. So this is the main connector, this yellow thing, and this is going to be wired into the car's harness, and then you can disconnect it here, take the seat in and out. This is the control module. It's a little computer for the seat and for the heaters. So here's the actual wires. And what's helpful to have, it's helpful to have a wiring diagram for the car. I've got it. And then I Googled this. This is it explains BMW's wiring conventions, and this is super helpful. You can figure an awful lot out just from this. And they say, hey, in BMW, any red wire with a stripe is hot all the time, and it comes through a fuse. Any solid green wire is hot all the time. A green wire with a stripe is hot when the ignition's on and it comes through a fuse. A violet wire with a stripe is hot in accessory and ignition on through a fuse. Brown is ground. There's various stripes, but brown is always ground, and there's a couple of brown wires. And then gray is dimmed, a light dimmed wire. So knowing that is helpful. And then we just look at the size, right? These two big red wires, they're big, right? And these two brown wires are big. These are the main power for the seat motors. And it's got, I think, 4 motors. 2, 3, there's another one here somewhere, 4 motors. And the heaters, those take a lot of current. They need a big wire. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hook up red together and brown together. Going to wire net those to some clamps to hook up to a battery. Super important inline fuse, 30 amp inline fuse, so we don't have any mishaps. So all the red wires, the big red wires, are nutted together with a red wire here. The ground wires are nutted with this black wire over to the battery. Again, we've got 30 amp inline fuse, and now we can just check the motor operation. Yep, back and forth, up and down, tilt, base tilt, that works, and then the backrest tilt. Okay, so that all works, and the lumbar. Okay, so all that stuff works. On the driver's seat, the computer timed out. So you gotta, it'll work for 5 or 10 minutes, and then the computer goes, hey, I'm not hooked up to the other computers, and it shuts off. And so we have to come up with a way to trick the computer into thinking it's hooked up, and we'll get into the details of that later. But right now, just the basic operation, it works, right? We got power, and we can move the seat in all axes. These are the heater wires, and so what I'll do is check that the heaters get hot. Right, these go to the heater elements, and so I'll just connect those to ground and see if they get hot. I talked about these big red wires are power to the seat and to the heaters. The big brown wires are ground. All these little wires go to little stuff. One of them is for the seat belt. Hey, is the seat belt fastened? One goes to the airbag. There actually is an airbag in this side airbag, and it's armed. And we want to be careful not to. And we want to be careful not to set the airbag off and have it blow up in our face. And then the other one is the controls that tell the heater to come on or what temperature to be set at. That happens on the dash, goes through a computer in the dash, and a coded data signal comes in. We're going to bypass that and just it's just going to be on or off. High or not, and that'll be all right. It'd be cool. It's cool enough to have heated seats in a 68 car. We don't need to be able to adjust them, because you'd have to know what the computer codes are. You have to be able to generate them. Too much. Just be able to turn them on and off. All right, so I'm just testing the heater circuits right now, and like I said, I just pulled this plug out of the controller. These wires go, and I traced them out a little bit, and they go to the back of the seat, and then this one goes to the seat base. And I've just applied direct 12 volt and ground to that connector just to make sure they worked, and got them hooked up here to ground and 12 volt power with a fuse. Being careful, it's a little sketchy, but I'm making sure nothing shorts out here. And we'll go around and see if it's getting hot. Yeah, and I can feel it's warm. And here's the infrared thermometer, so you can see, you know, the base is at 70 degrees, and this is warming up. It's 80 something. It gets up to about 90. It's about the max. So yeah, the back heater elements are working, and I'll just connect that directly through a relay with a heater switch in the car. Actually got some heater switches that are kind of cool. This is what we're going to put, and it's a two position. It's got a low and a high. It's got an indicator light, but we're just going to have on or off. Either position will just be on. But you can see this is a really small wire. So what we'll do is put that either in the console or the doors, haven't decided, and that'll control a relay that will then send a higher current signal through the elements here and heat the seats up. So that's working. So progress on wiring up these BMW bucket seats, powered heated seats. And so, you know, this is a computer that controls the seat. And it needs to talk to the computer in the dash, where the seat heaters and all kinds of stuff are controlled, you know, like a touchscreen thing in the dash of the BMW. So this computer needs to think that it's hooked up to the computer in the dash, or what happens is you hook up, you know, power to the seat, and you use the controls to move the seat, and in 15 minutes it will time out and it will quit working because it says, oh, something's wrong, I'm not connected to the computer. So this car uses the CAN bus 2 data bus, and so what we have to do is lie to this computer and tell it it's connected. And what we do is I've got this little square wave generator. You can see this red light is flashing, and so this thing, you see every time that light flashes, it's sending a 5 volt square wave down the CAN bus saying, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on. And that takes a 5 volt input. So what we have here is a 12 to 5 volt step down little converter, little transformer. So that was $6 on Amazon, and this was $1. In fact, you have to buy a pack of 5. Right? Pretty cool. And these are neat if you're into geeky stuff, right? You can adjust the frequency that the light flashes and the duty cycle for the waveform. But I just hooked it up as it came default, and it works. So I just connected it, you know, just with some quick wire nuts here. I got the main power to the seat, you know, ground and 12 volts, and then this is the CAN bus line. The green wire is the high line, and this orangish line is the low. You know, and I got the wiring diagram for the car. And so I've just, you know, got this all kind of patched in to see if it would work. I do have, this is fused. I'm being reasonably safe. Got an inline fuse. So I just wanted to see if it would work, and it does. So with this thing flashing and sending a 5 volt square wave down the CAN bus 2 line, it stays awake. It's been plugged in for a couple hours now, and you can see seat works. So problem solved. Now I'll, you know, wire this up all nicely and put connectors on it and tuck it in, and wrap loom and do all that kind of stuff. I just wanted to make sure it worked, but that solved it. I'll put the links for the part numbers in the video. Very cool. Excited. Big success there. All right, I got it all buttoned up and everything's working. So you can see I've got the wires onto a connector, so you can take the seat in and out and disconnect it here. I got loom on it, and I made it nice and long and and then I put labels on all the wires. When I go to hook it up, I know what they do. So I had showed that 12 volt to 5 volt converter and then the square wave generator, and what I got was a little project box. Got it on Amazon. They're about $1.25 a piece. You have to buy a 5-pack, and you can see I've got it right here, zip tied in. So I put the converter and the square wave generator in this box, and then stuck them down and tie wrapped it, double-sided sticky and a tie wrap to hold it, and got all the wires done. And it is working. The test, it's been going about 25 minutes, and the timeout on the computer is 15 minutes. So, hey man, it works, and it's ready to put in the car. Now we just need the car to be ready for the seats. And I got the heaters hooked up as well. I just want to make sure everything's working. So, yeah, I can feel the heat. There's 98 degrees, 100. So, booyah. Everything is working. Like I said, it's ready to go in the car. Now we just need the car to be ready. There it is over there. We got a ways to go, but good fun. They work. BMW power heated bucket seats in a 68 El Camino. Oh, and I got a new wiring harness from Painless. It's in the box there. New fuse block and all that kind of good stuff. But what a surprise, there's no provision for power seats or heated seats in that wiring harness. And that's all right. So what I've got is a relay box. And so what I'll do is I'll put this behind the seats. There's going to be a panel back there anyway, where electrical equipment and amp and speakers mounted in it and stuff like that. So this will be mounted back there. And so when the key is turned on, relay will be energized. This is a 30 amp circuit. Each of these is 30 amp, and that's 12 gauge wire. Right. So turn the ignition on, a relay for the heaters, a relay for the motors, for the driver's seat, and then the passenger seat will be energized, and they'll get the power through the relay. So that'll be totally cool. Ready to go. Good project. I enjoy this.